Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Elevate with C&M Coaching. My name's Maggie. Thank you so much for joining us here today. I have been gone for 2 weeks. I have been buried upside down in a project, so I do apologize that you haven't had any new content, but I do have a great call of the week here for us today. This is going to be a retail call. So this is for, pre-owned stores that have an inventory focus or for new car stores that have an inventory focus. That's what we're going to be talking about today and listening to a call together from a new car store. And I'm very excited about this call. Let's get into it.
Thanks for calling. This is Chris. How may I direct your call?
Nice greeting. However, I would say if you're going to be physically handling the sales call, it's a better idea to say, how can I help you? If you're not a salesperson and you'll be transferring the call, that's when you should say, how may I direct your call? Otherwise, your very last part of your greeting should be whatever's the most accurate. So in this case, she actually turned out to be the salesperson, so she really should have said, how can I help you?
Hey, Chris. I was actually calling back for you. Hey, hi. I love it when people call for me. And I'm returning your call. Hi. Yeah, hi, Miranda. I saw you were looking for the Odyssey we have on our lot.
Great job confirming that vehicle of interest. Nice work being prepared there.
Yes. I went in, I wanted to know, is that one of the all-wheel drive ones, or is that two-wheel drive? Do you know?
Give me 1 second.
Give me 1 second, and I'll figure that out for you, okay? Okay.
So right here we have about 30 seconds of silence. I'm pretty sure it was just mute and not an actual hold. I would recommend two things here. Number one, if it's just muted, put the customer on hold instead. And number two, if you have a hold portion of your conversations, there should be music or advertising. Now, I highly recommend advertising. This is a free opportunity to tell people about the different service plans you have or specials you might have going on in your service department or things that you might want your community to know about your dealership specifically, like a value statement of sorts. So use your hold time for free advertising and don't just mute, and really try to not have silence either.
Okay, so that's front wheel drive. It is front wheel drive? Yes. Okay.
So one of the things that I always encourage you to do before answering a question is try to figure out what your customer's hoping the answer is. So the easiest way for you to do this is just to simply ask your customer, what are you hoping for? Are you looking for all-wheel drive? Are you looking for front-wheel drive? And then after the customer answers, this helps you better prepare yourself if the answer isn't exactly what they want. So say, for example, like in this scenario, it is front wheel and the customer's hoping for all wheel. We would know that because we would have said to her, what's your preference here? And then when you come back from hold, you can tell the customer, unfortunately, this one is front wheel, but it does look like we have a few coming in that are all wheel. And then we can at least try to offer the customer an appointment on an alternate or similar vehicle. But that's why we always try to ask the question before answering it. And this allows you to be better prepared for what might come next. In addition to that, I really would have liked to have heard this rep say, hey, that Odyssey is a great choice. It's been super popular since we've gotten it in. I'm going to go ahead and double check then make sure that it's still available for you. But while I'm doing that, I have to ask, is this the only vehicle that you're interested in, or would you be open to similar options? And if the customer says yes, then you can ask them 3 to 5 choice-based questions to figure out what else you might have that would work. This is your safety net. This is your plan B, and this is how you protect yourself in the event that the answers about this specific Odyssey aren't desirable to the customer. Then we still have another vehicle to sell them. One of the things I always tell people is remember that if this vehicle suddenly makes them no longer interested based on facts or something that they see, does it change the fact that the customer still needs to buy a car? And the answer is no, they still need to buy a car. So be the place to sell them something else. Have something else. Have a safety net. Have a backup plan.
But it is a touring with all the bells and whistles and everything. Yep, it's an '08 touring and has everything in it. Okay, and it was a one owner. Okay. All right, then I know my husband really was looking for an all-wheel drive one, but, the price is right. So let me talk to him and see if I can't change his mind on it, okay?
So again, we really kind of missed the mark here by not asking if the customer was open to alternate vehicles, because this would have been a great opportunity to say, well, great news, I actually have several others available and I have some that are all-wheel drive. Why don't you guys come on in and take a look? Now, We do get really busy down here. Your time is valuable. Let's do this. Let's pick a day and time now. You check with your husband. If things don't work out, it's not a problem at all. You can give me a call or shoot me a text, and I'll find you guys a more convenient day and time. Now, I do have openings tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon, which is most likely going to work best for the both of you. So I would try for a tentative appointment. Even if you don't have anything alternate or anything similar available, I would still try for a tentative appointment because your best bet at getting this customer in the door is right here, right now, with this first phone call. This is when your customer is most excited. This is when you have the most momentum and you already have them on the phone. When you have to create a fracture in the process and hang up and then try to play phone tag with them, two things happen. Either they don't answer when you call back or they never call you back. Both of those things result in us doing endless follow-up calls. So you want to make the most of this first initial sales call and go for that appointment again.
Okay. How about I give you guys a call back in an hour and see where your head's at?
So right here, before you hang up, we recommend a step that we call closure. This is where you give out your contact information, which is incredibly important if you are a commissioned salesperson because you want this customer to remember your information. So you say, hey, do you happen to have something to write with? Great, write this down for me. It's going to be Pugesek. That's Pugesek, which is my last name. My first name is Maggie, Maggie, and you can reach me at 877 900 9461. Now, after you've given out your contact information either this way or via text, then you want to make sure that you grab the customer's email address. If this is an inbound call, we want to have the email address. So I just say, hey, I want to communicate with you via email. What's a good email address for you? And then lastly, do you know where we're located? And then give them directions. Make sure that you're giving them landmarks or even a street name or something to help them retain the information about where you're located. And if they tell you they know where you are, don't believe them. Instead, say, okay, great. So you know we're located at 1234 West Main Street. Make sure that you're confirming that they truly do know.
He's actually working an overnight tonight. So,
all right.
Tomorrow or next week would be better.
Okay, so I'll give you guys a call tomorrow. If I don't get you guys tomorrow, we'll be calling all next week.
All right, thanks for the warning.
Okay, so I definitely wouldn't include that. I mean, it was cute and it was funny, but it also makes it seem like I intend to be relentless. I try to keep it a little lighter and I like to say, hey, if I don't hear back from you by tomorrow, then I'll just try to follow up with you next week. You don't have to be specific about the fact that your store wants you to call them 4 or 5 times a day. Just say, I'll follow up with you next week. Just keep it light and engaging. However, I would have really liked to have heard them go for a tentative appointment. I do think that would have been the most successful option in this type of call, and I think we kind of hurt ourselves by not actually doing that. In addition, we also hurt ourselves by immediately answering the customer's questions about the all-wheel drive versus front-wheel drive. We should have asked her first what she was looking for, and then we also should have asked about alternate vehicles prior to answering that question so that we could try to offer them something similar. All of those things sort of made it more challenging for us to get what we needed out of this phone call, which was an actual locked-in appointment time. We also skipped over giving out our contact information, and remember that a large majority of customers show up without an appointment, so directions are also key. That being said, I was really happy to hear her mention her future follow-up intentions.
All right. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
So because what we have here is actually an inbound return call. This was an internet lead that was submitted. We missed the call. We called the customer back, right? That's the type of call that we're hearing here. She should have verified the email address. She also should have started the conversation off by complimenting the initial vehicle of interest and then creating urgency by mentioning the popularity of the vehicle, and then from there transitioned into asking about alternate vehicles or Plan B vehicles like we talked about earlier. If a customer asks you a question about mileage or price or all-wheel drive versus front-wheel drive, try to figure out what your customer is thinking first before you just start answering questions so that you don't block yourself into a corner and then find yourself in a position where you don't have a vehicle for the customer. Always try to ask for your appointment at least twice. Ask with authority, ask with choices, try to set something up tentatively, utilizing the information that you have from the conversation to help you offer an appointment that actually matches what your customer has done and said so far, and then move into your closure step. Give out your contact info, verify their email address if you already have one, get their directions out to them so that they know how to get there in case they show up without calling you back, and then recap your future follow up intentions, which she did in this call. I think as far as organization and just overall call quality, there's some things that we should rearrange, and then also a few things that I would have liked to have seen included to improve the overall call quality, particularly asking about alternate vehicles, and I would consider this a missed opportunity. I do think with a little bit of training, this rep could be amazing, and they could have done a little bit better in this call. I appreciate your time today. Let me know if you have any questions or any other topics that you would like us to cover. Also, C&M Coaching is now offering hosted chat. All of those visitors that come to your website and poke around, looking at your inventory, looking at your financing options, but don't actually submit a request for information, we can help you convert those customers to leads by offering hosted chat. We will chat with your customers, obtain their information, and feed the leads directly to your CRM. It's super affordable, and we can set you up in a matter of minutes. For more information or to sign up, email us at info@chat-more.com. Thank you so much for joining us here at Elevate with C&M Coaching, and I hope that you enjoyed this call of the week. We'll be back next week with another hot topic. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.